Hi, I'm Diana Alvear, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Verizon's response to Zeta. Making landfall just shy of a Category 3 on Wednesday night, Zeta is the fifth hurricane to impact the Gulf Coast, particularly that Louisiana area, in just a matter of weeks. Fortunately, we had the opportunity to speak to Troy Buckelew. He is in Southwest Mississippi. He is a 22-year veteran at Verizon and has been through many, many storms. So, Troy, thank you so much for joining us. And my first question to you is tell us what's going on at this point. What's the current status with this storm and your activity?
Well, sure thing, Diana. The storm moved through, pretty quickly. It made landfall around, 4 p.m. yesterday afternoon, and then by, 8 a.m. this morning, it's completely gone out of our area, moved into another market. So, luckily the storm moved through fast, but it was, pretty intense when it came through. So it did do some considerable damage. We've got impact to the network down through Houma, New Orleans, over through the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and up kind of northeastern through Mobile. We've got a number of sites down. Now, widespread power outages that we're responding to this morning, so it's a pretty significant impact to our network, more than what we might have expected a couple of days ago, given the projections for the storm.
22 years is a long time to be responding to these kinds of storms, but 2020 just seems to be in a league of its own. Tell me a little bit about what it's been like having to respond to so many storms in your particular area. I mean, I keep thinking, okay, we've probably seen the last one, and then here comes Zeta. So tell me, in your experience, what has this been like?
It's been an eye opener this year. It's been an unusual year all the way around. It's been a couple 2 or 3 years since we've had a major response to a storm. So to have now the fourth one that's a considerable impact to our network in 1 year, it's kind of almost unprecedented. So unfortunately, we've gotten better. We've identified areas where we've been able to improve our storm response throughout the season. Wish maybe we haven't had those opportunities, but it has been good for our team to kind of step up our game and get some good processes in place to help us prepare and respond to these type events.
Anything in particular different this time around? Anything that you had to focus on, or any lessons learned that you can share with us?
Yeah, we've had several lessons learned, and one that was hard to kind of resist this time was, the predictions for the storm, even a couple days ago, were, relatively mild, and we saw it with Sally, we saw it with Delta. Those storms this year, for some reason, have had a tendency to increase the intensity at the last minute. So it was tough trying to resist the urge to kind of back off on preparation this time. So we did have to make a concentrated effort to prepare for the worst, which is what we have to do every time.
And what kind of factors go into deciding whether or not you can be out in the field fixing things? What kind of things do you have to consider in order to make sure that the safety of your crews comes first?
Right. And we do that. And of course, with the pandemic this year, we've got to make sure we've got all the PPE and things like that covered to, stay within our COVID protocols on top of the normal storm considerations. The guys are trained and equipped with the tools that they need to identify, obstacles, dangers, like power lines down, things like that. So we have to focus on that. They look for, road debris. We keep check with the weather forecasts and local road conditions. And then once they get on location at our sites, they're trained to assess the compound and the tower to make sure there are no dangers as they, start their work.
Well, we appreciate you guys so much. And on a personal note, how are you and your family doing? Because I always get really concerned about our V teamers on the ground and in the eye of the storm. So how are you doing personally, Troy?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. We've had some other employees in the market that have been impacted a couple times, and we're trying to support them and assist them as much as we can. So, that's the main thing, just keeping our teams together. Through this storm season, we've gotten support from other areas of the business that we, traditionally have not received support from. So it's been a real team effort this year, and it continues to grow and grow. So I think we're getting some good processes that we can put into action going forward for the whole company.
Boy, when you look back on this year, that's going to be a lot of lessons learned and a lot of sweat
Exactly.
equity given. Troy Buckelew for
Right.
us there in Southwest Mississippi, keeping everybody safe and connected. Troy, we can't thank you enough. 22 years on the job, that's a commitment. So thank you so much for
Okay.
updating us.
Okay. Thank you, Dana.
And of course, we realize how stressful all of this is for our customers that are impacted in that area. And we want to make sure that you know about our relief efforts. We have offered unlimited calls, text, and data for the customers that are impacted by Hurricane Zeta, as well as the ice storm in Oklahoma and Texas, the Silverado and Blue Ridge fires in Southern California, and the East Troublesome and Cameron Peak fires in Colorado. 2020 has just been a year unlike any other. And if you were affected by any of these, our hearts are with you. Verizon is on the ground making sure that you guys are okay. And you can learn all about these efforts and more on our Emergency Resource Center. You can find that at verizon.com/emergency. And if you need anything at all, just give us a call and we'll see what we can do. Until next time, you're up to speed.